How our government failed to connect the dots in a way that would have prevented a known terrorist from boarding a plane for America.
I mean, let's remember here, the people we are fighting today, we funded 20 years ago.
We know of their deep belief in God, and we are confident that their struggle will succeed. That land over there is yours. You'll go back to it one day because your fight will prevail and you'll have your homes, your mosques back again because your cause is right and God is on your side.
It's now clear that shortcomings occurred in three broad and compounding ways.
And we did it because we were locked in this struggle with the Soviet Union.
First, although our intelligence community had learned a great deal about the Al-Qaeda,
they invaded Afghanistan.
That we knew that they sought to strike the United States and that they were recruiting operatives to do so.
And we did not want to see them control Central Asia.
The intelligence community did not aggressively follow up on and prioritize particular streams of intelligence related to a possible attack against the homeland.
And we went to work.
Second, this contributed to a larger failure of analysis, a failure to connect the dots of intelligence that existed across our intelligence community and which together could have revealed.
And it was President Reagan in partnership with the Congress, led by Democrats.
Third, this in turn fed into shortcomings in the watch listing system.
Who said, you know what, sounds like a pretty good idea. Let's deal with the ISI and the Pakistani military.
How that terrorist boarded a plane with explosives that could have killed.
Let's go recruit these Mujahideen, and let's get some to come from Saudi Arabia and other places, importing their Wahhabi brand of Islam so that we can go beat the Soviet Union.
And the steps we're going to take to prevent that from happening again. We are at war. We are at war against Al-Qaeda.
The people we are fighting today, we funded 20 years ago.
In sum, the U.S. government had the information scattered throughout the system to potentially uncover this plot and disrupt the attack.
We also have a history of kind of moving in and out of Pakistan.
Rather than a failure to collect or share intelligence, this was a failure to connect and understand the intelligence that we already had. Now, there's no silver bullet to securing the thousands of flights into America each day, domestic and international.
And guess what? They retreated. They lost billions of dollars, and it led to the collapse of the Soviet Union. So there's a very strong argument, which is, wasn't a bad investment to end the Soviet Union.
Of sifting through vast universes of intelligence and data in our information age, including reviewing and updating the terrorist watch list system and adding more individuals to the no-fly list.
But let's be careful what we sow, because we will harvest.
To strengthen the criteria used to add individuals to our terrorist watch lists. We must do better in keeping dangerous people off airplanes.
That land over there is yours. You'll go back to it one day.
We must do better in keeping dangerous people off airplanes.
Because your fight will prevail and you'll have your homes, your mosques back again.
We must do better in keeping dangerous people off airplanes.
Because your cause is right and God is on your side.
You deal with the mines that are along the border. And by the way, we don't want to have anything to do with you. In fact, we're sanctioning you. So we stopped dealing with the Pakistani military and with ISI.
Collect, share, integrate, analyze, and act on intelligence swiftly and effectively.
So we then left Pakistan. We said, okay, fine, you deal with the stingers that we've left all over your country.
Technology and procedures. Even the best intelligence can't identify in advance every individual who would do us harm. So we need the security. So we need the security, not just most of the time, but all of the time.
And we now are making up for a lot of lost time.
Especially the no-fly list.
They invaded Afghanistan.
So we need the security that will require significant investments in many areas. Now, there is, of course, no foolproof solution. We increased investments in homeland security and aviation security. There is, of course, no foolproof solution. This includes an additional $1 billion in new systems and technologies that we need to protect our airports. There is, of course, no foolproof solution. These are major investments, and they'll make our skies safer and more secure. There is, of course, no foolproof solution. More baggage screening, more passenger screening. There is, of course, no foolproof solution. And working aggressively in cooperation with the Department of Energy and our national labs to develop and deploy the next generation of screening technologies. Technology and procedures. As we develop new screening technologies and procedures, our adversaries will seek new ways to evade them. There is, of course, no foolproof solution. These are major investments. In the never-ending race to protect our country, we have to stay one step ahead of a nimble adversary. That I will hold my staff, our agencies, and the people in them accountable when they fail to perform their responsibilities at the highest levels. It appears that this incident was not the fault of a single individual or organization, but rather a systemic failure across organizations and agencies. All of these agencies and their leaders are responsible for implementing these reforms, and all will be held accountable if they don't. For ultimately, the buck stops with me. We are at war. We are at war against Al-Qaeda. We must do better in keeping dangerous people off airplanes. Moreover, I am less interested in passing out blame than I am in learning from and correcting these mistakes to make us safer.
Because your cause is right and God is on your side.
As President, I have a solemn responsibility to protect our nation and our people. And when the system fails, it is my responsibility.
Proven to be an outstanding friend and somebody who I've learned an immense amount from, and for him to support me in this campaign and then be willing to come out here to Iowa is a testimony to his generosity. So if everybody could please give Dr. Brzezinski another round of applause.
A far-reaching network of violence and hatred that attacked us on 9/11, that killed nearly 3,000 innocent people, that Al-Qaeda offers nothing except a bankrupt vision of misery and death. That's what it means to be strong in the face of violent extremism. That's how we will prevail in this fight. And that's how we will protect our country and pass it, safer and stronger, to the next generation. How our government failed to connect the dots.
Because your cause is right and God is on your side.
Over the past 2 weeks, we've been reminded again of the challenge we face in protecting our country against a foe that is bent on our destruction. How our government failed to connect the dots. Thanks very much.